Sunday.
So what do you think you're going to be working on today?
I am going to be working more on the antler detail stuff up through here.
Like the glow and everything? Or
More on the
detail
actual,
of it?
yeah, the details and bringing it out.
Okay.
Since I haven't worked on it since Wednesday. Try and flesh all that stuff out.
Okay. Yeah, I like that you're expanding it out.
Thanks. Getting there. And you're starting a new one?
Mhm. Yeah, I'm gonna do like a phoenix lady, and I want to do like stop saying like, but I want to do the mountains in the background, like Towson, New Mexico, how they're like purples and oranges and like really cool colors like that. But
Okay.
yeah, I want to do like the phoenix sunset, but with like a phoenix lady right in front. With dope ass tattoos or something. I don't know. I'm still figuring out that part.
That's fair.
But she's gonna have a golden sun and she's gonna look goddess AF, and I'm excited.
Goddess AF.
Goddess AF.
Is that after frustration?
After it is now. I'm definitely gonna use that one. But I also want to try to. My goal is I really, really want to try to paint faster.
Yeah.
So I could go to different shows and stuff. But we'll see.
My buddy Josh, iPhotos to Gehrlich, is all about the Phoenix idea.
Oh,
by
yeah?
the way. Yeah.
Yay!
Wow.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Thank you, person. I just hope I don't give her a derpy face.
Well, then don't give her a derpy face.
I will try my best not to, but I'm not too confident in this outline, but I'm gonna go for it anyway.
It will evolve as it needs.
Yeah, I figured.
Or it won't.
Or it won't, and I will completely paint over it for
Yeah.
the 5,000th time. That's
It
fine.
looks like you've never painted over that one.
I know. But I mean, like...
Why do you have to lie? I'm just joking. No. I totally get it. I revise drawings and all that stuff a million times. And then commit them to canvas and then paint over them.
Oh, yeah. Like a good 6 hours worth, and then you're like, damn it. I gotta change this whole damn thing.
Yeah. That's why I try to work everything out in like thumbnail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that was
way.
brilliant.
Yeah,
You
because
draw really small.
you don't waste time on it.
Mm-hmm.
You can see if it works or not, just like the basic mechanics of everything, and then you can slowly make it bigger, work in more details. Sometimes it looks like it will work perfectly, small, and then you get to the details and you start, I can't do this, and this makes it look wonky, and you have to go back to the drawing board, but it saves a lot of time. I used to draw like huge, or try to fill up an entire page in a sketchbook, and I would spend 10-12 hours on it and then abandon it because it just looked like dog shit. Nope. That was a waste of time.
Yeah, I have several sketches that way.
I had several sketchbooks that way.
Actually, I have a lot of uncompleted work. Actually, just recently I've been a lot better with it. But it's still hard to make work.
Yeah. As far as...
Well, recently I've been like inspired a lot more lately with like different art forms and such. And just by like
You
things.
mean styles?
Yeah, like
Okay.
styles and stuff. Like, so like this painting, Biz brought in those cards. And actually, I think I thought exactly what you said just now about drawing small and then seeing how they work from a distance, so like you can kind of tell what is what. So if it looks really good small, if you expand it and put like a lot of detail into it, it will flow nicely slash like it makes sense. So I was like, or he was, because I told him I like drawing these things. He's like, oh, I gotta show you the Oliva cards or something. I think it's Olivia. I don't know. It was these weird. Hold up, I got my phone somewhere. But it was just these baseball cards with beautiful paintings on them and stuff. And I just started sketching a few of like the poses in there that I saw and adding my own little twist to it, but also trying to understand the body a lot better. God, I'm so awful with like, I could do the face and then most of the body goes to shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's the
Anatomy
one thing I really.
classes or live painting or sketching from live is the best for that.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah. So
I need to
you
do
see
that.
you see it's a weakness, you remedy it. Super easy to. That's half the.
I've actually thought about it in San Marcos. I think I started traveling. I was hoping to do it in Phoenix, but that never came around. Do you know of anyone's here? Well, I guess I'll look around, but that's a good idea. I really do need to do that. Because I really want to incorporate
up.
more full bodies.
You're on your phone. Most humans are on their phones nowadays all the time. All the answers are right there.
I know. I was just asking to see if you knew of any places, smart
I mean,
ones.
you can take, go to any like community college or anything like that, and you can find, you can take courses in live drawing or look for them. Just go to the god of Google and type in
God of Google.
type in local live sketching classes or drawing classes from life near me, or even look at, I know there's a couple bars and a couple places around here that do I think it's like drink and draw or something like that, where they get
fun.
like a model that will come in and people sit there and sketch.
Really? That's a thing around here? That
I think that's
fun.
a thing everywhere. You just have to look for it.
Yeah. I guess I never had that thought for some reason. That'll be my new thing for this week. But yeah, I really want to get good at drawing bodies this year. Or the next year. I'm going to be so good by 2019.
If you do it.
I know.
I'm not busting your balls. I'm just saying, like, I know for myself, like, a lot of times, like, I'll get these great ideas, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna get it all squared away, and I'm gonna paint my ass off, 5 hours a day, and all this stuff, and then I don't do it.
Yeah.
It's scheduling. Like, you can schedule all you want, and you can make, all these. It's New Year's resolution kind of stuff. You'll stick with it for a couple weeks, and then it falls apart. It takes dedication.
It's not specific. My
What's that?
specific goal is now gonna try to find one of those.
Yeah.
But I just now need to put a name to it and just commit to it.
I hope you do. It'll be a good thing. I think drawing from or doing like live drawing classes and stuff like that is a great way to get familiar with the mechanics of the human body.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if we should like do that for a paint night sometime. I think that'd be kind of fun. Like,
as far as,
well, eventually, like, we'll both paint the same thing or have like 3 or 4 people participate.
yeah, that'd be fun. I mean, we've talked about that before, but it's only been talk.
In time. I just gotta develop.
Well, I think it's a lot has to do with prioritizing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what is the priority? Getting it going, making it look good, knowing the lights, knowing how to set up, you know, the technical aspect of it, and then once that's all squared away, then, you know, you can start expanding, and I'm totally down with all of it. It just...
Well, why not do it now? I feel like I've kind of had this thought recently that we just need to be resourceful. Like,
Yeah, but you can't be scatterbrained either. You just keep chasing your tail.
true. The point is, we're doing it, and I think it's nice to even just start, because that's something. What was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. Nah, I'm excited. This is fun.
Yeah, no.
I was talking to, huh?
I said, no, I'm having a blast doing this.
Now that I'm like thinking for this thing, I think it's nice to expand to other people. I think that's the goal. It would be really interesting to see how each creative mind works and how every one person ticks in a different way.
Right.
Because like even the art forms are all different, the styles are all different. People like zone out to the most different and weird and trippy things.
Yeah. Well, my goal for all of this at the very beginning was to basically get out the stories and the conversations, and just, it's like a behind the music or behind the movie of paintings, you know, behind the art. So like, because I used to get asked all the time, oh, what were you thinking of when you were painting whatever painting, you know what I mean? And I was always tempted to be like, oh, I was contemplating the universe and whatever it was. But actually it was just me and my friends sitting around like talking shit and making fart and poop jokes, you know, and just some of the most horrific fucking jokes that you could make. But it's funny because a lot of, like, out of those jokes, there's a weird camaraderie and just, I don't know, getting to know the actual artist behind, you know, what's going on. You know, you sit here and paint skulls and monsters all day, but nobody knows that, you know, they can look at that stuff and they're like, oh yeah, he's a dark guy, but they'll never know, like, the conversation of whatever, who was better, Ren or Stimpy or something, you know, maybe not that trivial, but just some of the humor that goes in behind it, or serious heart-to-heart talks that happen while painting. I mean, obviously there's always, you know, that artsy talk where it's like, oh, well, there's a light in this, and check out this guy, or talk to this artist, or whatever, you know.
Or even like critiquing as like two different artists. Because I feel like critiques, you can either take them or leave them with most things, but it's like very interesting to hear like another creative person talk with your paintings and stuff.
Well,
as intimidating as it is most of the time,
a lot of people
am still
can't
very
take
intimidated.
it.
Yeah.
They can't take an honest critique. I mean, we kind of talked about that, where, you know, don't fucking suck my dick about what I did. Tell me what looks off about it, what looks bad. Mm-hmm. You know, what could be used, or what is lacking. Where could I improve? Because through that is where, you know, larger changes happen, and growth, and expansion.
I agree.
But there's too many sensitive buttholes around that you can't really say anything.
Well, why not? Why not tell
Because
your
they're
truth?
sensitive buttholes, and then.
Well, then that's their fault. Like, don't get me wrong. I will get upset. Like, people, it's natural people instinct to get upset. But if you explain clear and concisely,
no, well,
without
I mean,
being like
it's
a
not,
complete, like there's a there's a difference between being a dick as a critique artist and someone who's just trying to tell you something that they think might be helpful toward you.
Sure.
To like help you get better.
But it's also not any of. If somebody asks me for a true critique, like, I have to know that person before I can give them a true critique. Because if I say, well, the lighting's off, or maybe try this, or do this, or I don't like the way the light falls off that, it doesn't look right, there's something off about it, or you know what I mean.
Well, what's wrong with that? Maybe he needs to be told.
But some people can't take that.
Well, if they're asking, that's on them.
Yeah, but you also just said that, you know, it's all on how you present it. So
Yeah, well, that is perfectly presentable, what you said.
not to some people. Everybody's different. So it gets really tedious to work with humans.
I mean, don't be an asshole with calling names in judgment. More of like...
Yeah, obviously.
Or like...
Just saying.
Oh no.
Artists are sensitive.
That is true.
Just saying.
We all...
I mean, me included. Like, I'll get hurt over all kinds of shit. Like, but I realize that, you know, I have a pretty firm grasp and control of my emotions. So, like, if I think it's about me, you know, instantly I'm like, oh wait, this is how you get better, and you know, or if it's one of my favorite parts and somebody's like, it looks like dog shit, and I'm like, oh man, you know, you kind of get down, but then it's like, oh well, I asked for it. It should be more refined or whatever it is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my responsibility.
I see what you mean. I don't know. I know I feel better when people like critique stuff sometimes with mine. Like, it's more of this weird relief because, like, I know something looks off and I need help, but everyone I keep showing it to, they're like, oh yeah, it's nice. And I'm like, I know something's off though. Like, I need someone to tell me.
Yeah.
And so then, like, when the people do tell me, it's like this weird, like, relief. Even if it's just calling me out on my shit, like what I'm doing lazily. I'm like, you're right. Like, I need to go back and do this.
Yeah. I mean, I've talked to you about your art several times.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know, and I've never had an issue with you.
No, you actually tell me the truth. I like you.
Well,
It's my... it's... No, I mean...
I don't have time to lie.
Well, then that's my... What? That just proves what I was just saying. Like, you shouldn't lie. Like, maybe
I
if
don't
people
lie.
do
That's why I just have to know who I'm talking to. That's what I'm saying.
I see.
People are sensitive. I won't lie at all. Like, if it looks like dog shit, I'll let you know. I'll say it. I try to be nice about it, but
I'm nice about it too, cause like
but
it's
sometimes
hard.
you have to be brutally honest. Like,
I try to tell them a solution too, if anything. Like maybe.
well,
Little
I
bit.
do the whole like. If I'm going to pick something apart, I'm gonna say, well,
The sandwich
if
method.
I was going to do it, this is how I would do it, and I would maybe add shadow here, or bring light in here, or whatever. You know, try to offer up some help. Like, that's the constructive. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, I'm not just gonna sit there and go, you suck. You know,
Yeah.
you know,
Actually-
that's the difference between
sorry.
you know, constructive criticism and just criticism.
Right.
You know, but I also offer, like, I really like the way this is.
Yeah.
It-
Yeah.
Just because, like, it's a balance. Like, I will tell you and, like, give credit where credit is due, but I'm also going to, like, if you really want it, here it goes.
You know.
Again, I have to know who I'm talking to.
Yeah. Well, I just remembered something from my ROTC days, like what you were explaining. They do a thing. Well, not who taught me. I think it was a leadership camp or something, where it's called the sandwich method, where you say, and everyone made fun of me for it, rightfully so. But it's like the positive, negative, positive.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know,
it's like
that,
a
just
team
that platform,
builder.
Yeah,
fucking.
But a way to
how
like
to be
bring
an
up
officer.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was hella helpful. Just being like,
Yeah.
it kind of helps ease it. Like saying something positive about their painting, like what you
Yeah.
like about it, and then saying what the problem is and how you would fix it, and then maybe at the end be like, but I like where this is going, like keep at it, kind of deal. Like an encouraging, like positive thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the equivalence of spitting on it before you jam it in the ass.
I suppose so.
Hi, Mom.
I keep wanting to dip this brush in my coffee. I almost did it for the third time.
Constructive criticism. Move your coffee.
Yeah, done. Done and done. I'm switching my coffee and my crystal water. Shit.
But I like that you're drinking coffee. Does that work?
Yes.
Okay.
You're stupid.
No, I was just being a team player. Trying to build a tough team. And offer my criticism. Constructive criticism. Meh.
Wow.
Meh.
I think I've already learned something from this podcast now. I forgot about that whole little thing. Let's see.
Forgot about what little thing?
Oh, just the art. Sorry, my brain. I need to be better
Explain.
with that. Exactly. I'm realizing a lot lately, but that teaching. Sometimes how teachings come back after a long time, and it like has a whole other meaning to you now. But it's. I was talking about with this stuff with my clients today because they were getting all semicolon tattoos, and I was telling them how. We've known all these lessons like the whole freaking time, and we keep learning them over and over again. Like the same basic stuff of like everything works out, you'll be fine, kind of like the like be a good person, or what is it?
I don't know. Are you talking about like just
Trying to
like
think hard.
the
But just like thinking mode hard on. Never mind. Never say
what
that
was
again.
that?
I know. My brain, it needs to stop.
Did you
No,
say hard on?
no,
You
no.
totally said hard on.
Shh.
I heard you. You said hard on.
That's fair. Let's see. I don't know why I'm spacing out, but just like the basic lessons of how to be good or no. That wasn't it. Sorry, y'all. Brain
Well,
has popped.
obviously you need to learn that lesson again, whichever it was,
Right.
because you can't remember.
Yeah.
That's how that shit works. That's why they keep coming back. You really didn't listen. You can go through things and not learn a lesson, and it can be hard and it can be rough, and you just be like, that sucked. That was the worst part of my life ever. Like, I don't understand. But you didn't learn a lesson, so that lesson will come back.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, because you didn't learn it. Like, you can't move on until you get to a certain, or go through your ABCs, basically. It's like, you can't jump from A to C without learning B. Like, that's part of growth. Or you can get through that point, but you're gonna have to fall all the way back and learn number B. Jesus.
Number B.
Is that dyslexia?
Maybe.
No, it's not. Dyslexia is backwards.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, maybe that's me.
Switch my numbers and letters. Maybe it's just retardism.
Maybe.
Retardation.
No.
Adult retardation.
I don't know, the human brain works weird. Or just as it should. Whatever. Either one.
I mean, yeah, of course. It's working the way it's supposed to for right now. That doesn't mean that you have to stay right there.
I really like these. This light brown. Like a nice sort of even skin tone.
Light brown. What colors are you using?
I don't know. I have basically the same palette. Warm gray. It's called warm gray by Acrylico.
Yeah, okay.
By Master's Touch. What am I talking about? My bad. But yeah, I'm using Master's Touch acrylic paints.
Brought to you by Blammo.
I just thought, like, I looked at Acrylico and I was like, that's a dope ass, like, painting company. But it's not. It's not that at all.
I don't believe it. We're not gonna get a sponsorship from them anytime soon.
Acrylico? Hell, I'll make it. That's a brilliant name. I'm taking it.
Yeah, you
And
have
I
to
just
look it up and see if that name is available. Get on that phone. Google it.
I'm painting right now.
Aw.
I will after though.
We got new lights for our painting sessions. Everything tends to look a lot better than what it did, lighting wise.
I agree. I'm wondering if we should get more, but I think this is fine for now.
More what? Lights?
Like, yeah, like have two more, like right behind
Jesus.
us. Why not? You want light, right? That actually might be nice too, because then we can actually see everything.
Well, I also like walking around.
Maybe we'll put it away after.
Hmm?
I don't know. Future thoughts.
No, I get it. I mean, I think for right now, there's plenty of light.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So then why would we need more light if there's plenty of light?
Oh, well, to expand it, because, like, I remember what you were talking about, how you have, like, when I first came here, you had, like, 3 lamps on one thing. And I was
Yes.
like, that is the weirdest thing.
It's directional light.
Yeah. Like, it makes sense now, but I'm so used to drawing in the dark, and I realize how bad that is now. But
On many different levels.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, I still see good. I see plenty.
You see well?
I see well. I don't speak well, but
I don't either.
I just make it work.
No, it's good to have light. You actually get to see your colors. You get to see what you're doing.
Oh yeah, because yeah, but then if we have 2 more, and we'll have like ultimate light.
Well, and you have to keep in mind if you have them directly behind you, you're just casting a shadow of yourself over it.
That's true,
And
but
it's
these
pointless.
two.
It's actually fighting the fact that you have directional lights. We have plenty of other lights that we can use. I mean, if you're looking for warm tones or any of that, I think it's always good to have a mixed bag of lights.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for myself,
For like the colors and stuff to
yeah,
kind of
like
make
I
sure
like-
everything looks right.
I enjoy having true lights, and then even like a warm light in the mix. But that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
I also try to imagine, and I'm a stickler with having lights or whatever, but I try to imagine how it's going to be displayed. So
Okay.
if I enjoy it or I think it's okay, under the scrutiny of very harsh bright lights,
Mm-hmm.
and then it still works in normal light, and then it also works in dark,
Mm-hmm.
then it's done to me. Or you know what I mean? Because I'll paint something in like very bright lights or harsh lighting, and you get to see all the details and all that good stuff. But then you introduce it into like a normal lit room, and it still works. And then I'll turn the lights off, and I'll watch the balance of like where my lights are and where my darks are. If the palette just looks like a black palette, then it's not right to me. I that's just one of those things that I do when I'm painting. I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's wrong. It's just one of those things that feels right to me. Because if it's in a dark room and there's still something, or at least something that draws your attention, or an image is visible, then it's on the right path for just the way my brain works.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just for whatever lighting situation it is. I mean, nobody's really looking at paintings in the dark. You know what I mean? But
You never know. Them new school people are like,
well, yeah, I mean,
you should see some ones in Austin and stuff. They'll have like outdoor nighttime galleries.
yeah, but I'm sure they're lit.
Barely.
Well, then that's in my opinion, that just my opinion, that's a fucking horrible way to show art.
Yeah. But
Unless you're painting it just to like, oh, these are only to be viewed in the dark.
maybe, I don't know. Some of those people were weird. It was cool though. Lots of aliens.
Yeah.
But I see what you mean. I get I mean, I don't know why I always painted in the dark. I just always kind of, I was okay with whatever.
Because you're so emo.
Oh yeah, totally.
Just joking.
Love it.
What up? Just an asshole. The asshole that lives in my head. Fucking grabbed hold of your comment of there's a lot of aliens, San Marcos. I'm like, well, what kind? Like border aliens or space aliens? Again, the
Yeah.
asshole that lives in my head.
Nah, I mean, it's a fair question. It is Texas.
Well, it's really hard to be an alien when you're on stolen land, but that's just a t-shirt that I've seen lately. That's true.
I'm not sure if I believe that anymore.
What's that?
I used to think that, but also now I'm just like, we need to take care of us and have our own things, and we like our own things.
There's a balance.
There is, for sure. And I think
There is that cleaning up of your own backyard before you help others, but in the same
like, how can we help
sense.
somebody if we can't even help the people that are here?
Yeah, but they're not even trying to help people here. So I think it's a humanitarian act, honestly. I mean, And that's a question that has been, I mean, it's worldwide with immigration issues in Europe, and I mean, every country is kind of dealing with that right now. People are feeling pinched. I obviously have no idea what the right answer is, other than, I mean, not being so fucking selfish about your shit, and I mean, seeing yourself in the other person. Like, how would you feel? Honestly, like, that's how it should, everything should be kind of approached.
Yeah, but that also means people have the right to defend their own thing if they want to. And I don't know, lately I've been looking at it more like I feel like we need to solve a lot of things within us before we can really help people and stuff. Like, have the right, I don't know, but that takes a long time, maybe. I'm like rubbing my chin.
Yeah, these questions are not easily answered.
Yeah, but we have something where like people can get in legally. They just have to go through a process and
Absolutely.
a school of sorts, which
Absolutely.
is understandable.
Yeah, and I've always been a firm believer of that. If you're going to do something, go about it the right way.
Okay, see, that's what I mean. That's what I agree with a lot.
But I mean, it's still out of a loving place, you know. Like, yes, come to this country. You should. You know, everybody wants a better life.
Yeah.
But you know, again, like, it's a hard question. You know, a hard answer. It's just you should do it the right way. Like.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I agree with that. I know actually, have I told you that my parents or my mom came here through, I think, marrying my dad? No. But my mom's family basically kind of came in here through marriage and like also getting paper for their parents and their grandparents and stuff. Mm-hmm. And they came in and they worked to America and stuff. Actually, they're kind of funny because they apparently lived in a very, very poor town. Mm-hmm. And then they moved to America. And my grandpa became a trucker. And they had a lot of money. But they actually, apparently they might have overspent and they had all the luxurious things. And unfortunately now it's kind of like taking a toll on them. But they would always have like the big houses and new dresses all the time. And my mom, bless her heart, and mom, if she watches this, like, I love you dearly. But like we got into like horrible debt because we got a lot of what was it, furniture and things and stuff. Like, we just didn't know how to time and do money well. I don't think any of us really did.
Materialism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, we all like learned and grown since then.
Sure, absolutely.
We all have our own things. But it was really cool. I don't know. I find it fascinating because like her English is so good now. I remember making fun of her when she was younger, but I forget she grew up in a whole different place. Yeah.
Well, and that's a struggle a lot of people have with, you know, just like money and, you know, trying to keep up with the Joneses. Mm-hmm. You know, want all the best things all the time. And I mean, I didn't grow up that way. My parents were really awesome. Taught us value of things, you know, made us work for everything. And it was out of just like the working class culture. Like, you know, my grandfather was on my dad's side was a farmer, and he started farming with horses. I mean,
farming with horses?
Yeah, like,
so you grew up like around horses and stuff too?
Yeah, but I mean, my grandfather, I mean, when he was a child, he went to school in a one-room. Both my grandmother and my grandfather went to school in a one-room schoolhouse. Like, the only way around were horses, you know, horses and carriages and horses and sleighs and stuff like that. He was born in 1914. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that was just the way it was done. So they're very frugal and didn't spend a lot on the extras, kind of, and that got passed down. It was, you used money as a tool, not like and it's, you don't get hung up on the materialism, or I need brand new furniture or whatever, flashy clothes all the time. It's because they worked for their money. Which it's a good thing. It comes with its own set of, I guess, guilts and hang-ups and stuff like that. I think when anybody is taught something or grows up a certain way, there's always like I think when you break through that general teaching, or you find what works best for you, or grow beyond those teachings, there's usually like a guilt attached to it.
Yeah. No, I feel that. I've been feeling that this whole time I've been traveling.
Yeah.
Definitely. But it's hard to break away and like look back at things. But
Sure.
it's healthy and it's good. And
Yeah,
it's actually
absolutely.
nice now because of the different mindset I have for a lot of different things. And even though it's taking me like a second to like tick with it, it's all like kind of like, it's like one thing at a time. Like every week I've been learning like a different thing that I need to either improve, or an idea that I really need to like develop a bit more and put its methods into practice, or like the type of thinking, and like until it clicks finally, and then like all of a sudden like my body will do exactly everything that I want it to do for like certain things, but like it will click with that
You
thing
mean
once
like
I
pee?
realize it. Yes. Like pee.
Like your body does what you want it to. I'm like, what?
Yeah, because sometimes it's because I'll admit it's a struggle for me trying to kick old habits and like really taking into place of things. But recently it's been more like recognizing them, but also trying to apply them, even though it like scares the shit out of me. But then sometimes it doesn't scare me, or it doesn't friction with my brain. Sometimes it just like automatically helps out and I start trying to apply it.
Okay.
I don't know if that made any sense. That was probably a bunch of ramblings, but
A little bit, but no, I think I understand where you're coming from. No,
because it's the conditioning. I was just breaking down the conditioning until suddenly it like breaks, and then it's like, oh, okay, like try to be a little bit more aware of this, or try to like do this next time. And like I'll fuck up every now and then, but it's also a good reminder for me, / also like how do I explain? Like I don't beat myself up as hard as I used to. It's more like, okay, you're fine. Just try to remember it. Like do your best. Just
Yeah.
do it.
yeah, I mean, nobody's perfect. Like, and yeah, changing habits it has to start in your head first. You know what I mean? You have to want to change first, whatever it is. So you get it. And being mindful of it. Yeah, there's no a few times that I quit smoking or whatever, I get all pissed off because you go 3 days and then
Yeah.
you have a cigarette. It's like, fuck it, I guess I'll just smoke a whole pack. And you basically just beat yourself up. Or, I'm such a piece of shit, I can't even do it once, I'm not right. It's like, chill the fuck out. Take a deep breath.
Just breath.
Well, I mean, or breathe.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to be really bad about that.
Beating
No,
yourself
that's-
up.
Oh yeah, hardcore. I was that person that beat myself up all the time, and it reflected on everything I did.
Yeah. Should have been a Catholic.
You know, I think that would have legit like not been the best for my personality type. I'm glad at least Mormonism, they're like, I love you, or at least my dad like taught me like, I love you no matter what. Like I think that was like a good like lesson in my head, but it was also like the.
Yeah, I was.
But
just
I
saying,
also
like,
always felt very meh.
Well,
like,
it has
I
nothing
felt
to
very
do with your
different
father, or you know. I was just saying, like, the religion itself kind of thrives on guilt.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying like if I was raised in that, I don't think I would be as good as I am now. I think that would be like an add-on of like I don't know.
Maybe.
Or maybe it would have been like something I strove or strived in just because I was like a guilty kind of person. Or not guilty kind of person, but like the thinking might have been too good at that point. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, you'll never know because it didn't happen.
True that. True that. I like my mystic, weird, hippie self. She's not perfect, but she's working on it. But it's funny how like all the lessons I've learned throughout my life with art and different experiences, like it all helps out with everything that I do now.
Yeah.
Like, like with ROTC and art, both by my side, plus when I did used to do comic conventions, like talking with people and doing all that, and then when I found tattoos, I was able to use like everything I learned from every single part. And I was like, yeah, this is cool.
That is life. Learning from situations you're put in, or lessons from the situations, different life spots, and then
I don't think someone's supposed to be like, this is what I'm gonna do, like this exact thing, like so early on. I feel like people need to explore a bit more. Because I find a lot of friends that they will be like, I want to be this one thing, and they'll strive to be that one thing and that one thing only, but like ignore.
Career-wise, or
yeah, or like they don't try anything different other than this one thing, but they don't know if they even like this thing. You know?
Yeah.
At least I used to know a lot of college friends who used to do that. They'll like switch majors last minute, and they'll have to spend it like instead of 5 years, it's like 8 or 9.
Fuck that.
Oh, they'll be like almost done, and then they'll take up art as a major, or like different art classes and stuff. And some of them it was meant to be, but it was like, I don't know. It's hard to drop something, I guess, once you develop something.
You mean like a habit?
Or more of a, like whatever thing you strive to do, like something you build, like your art skill or whichever discipline you like try to build up. It's hard to let go of after a while.
Sometimes.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like it's a little scary to like just jump up and do something else. Yeah,
of course. Depends on where you're at, I guess.
But then there's people that are really good with that too.
Yeah. Humans tend most, say the majority.
Okay.
Majority of humans don't change unless it's too painful to remain the same. It's usually the motivating factor of change. have no choice.
Who was it that I was listening to? Someone was saying that same formula. I've been listening to a lot of motivation people, but it's also like, unless you're motivated to do so, and I guess that's the motivation though, is like to not be. I guess that moment you realize that you don't want to be who you are right now, but you do want to be this person in your head that you always wanted to be, and start actually like building the steps toward it.
Yeah.
Like actually doing the small little things.
That's part of it.
I don't know. What do you think of this so far? I guess there's not much to build on right now.
Yeah, it's a good start. I mean, I would almost, this is just an opinion,
What's up?
just go with your basic middle tone that you're going to use for all of the body, and just paint the whole thing one solid tone, and then you can start building your different shades off of it. It'll speed the whole process. Like I was saying the last time, with when I painted acrylic, I could paint something about that size in about 2 nights. It's because I would
So it's just like,
yep,
oh.
find your middle or medium tone of whatever section it is, and just lay it on.
Go crazy. Got it.
Yeah. And just get it solid, and then you can start
adding the tones and everything.
Yeah. It helps the speed of the process.
No, I'm just a little mad at myself.
Because why?
Well, I was like, I should have thought of that, but that's smart.
Well, it's because I like spending so much time in detail, so
yeah, me too. That's my problem.
Yeah,
that's
so
why I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna develop
everything
this.
as fast as possible up until the point of, okay, now I can slow down and get into the details and the shades and
All right, sounds good.
But I think we are